A top AEW star teases a move to WWE, and we have an update on the relationship between CM Punk and the Elite. But first, Cody Rhodes has given his thoughts on the AEW All-Out backstage altercation between the Elite and CM Punk, as well as a steal. The fight would ensue last summer when Punk took to the post-show media scrum to run down the EVPs of the company, with him feeling they had been leaking lies about him to the dirt sheets, before a confrontation after the fact led to a real-life brawl. Former AEW EVP Cody would appear on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour last night, where he opened up on the disappointment he felt when he heard the news, with him revealing, "If you remember when he came back, everyone was fired up about that, everybody. So when I watched it, just from my sitting there, there was some people texting me. I remember somebody texted me, 'Man, you're the smartest guy in the room,' and I wanted to write back like, 'F you, man, I didn't feel that way. I feel this thing we built got damaged, and I'm not putting any blame on anybody, but I just hated seeing that because as the company grows, and I hope it continues to grow, I hope people remember the mission in the first place, why we were there. If you bring in people that don't know the mission, things like that can happen." Rhodes would then add that he doesn't want All Elite Wrestling, a company that he helped build, to be erased, and would add, "I'm not saying Punk didn't know the mission or anything of that nature, but I was just bummed out. That's how I felt. I was bummed out because you win the title, it's a feather in your cap. You win the Royal Rumble, it's a feather in your cap. Building an alternative wrestling promotion is definitely a feather in the cap. I don't want that to be erased. I don't want that to go away. Plus, there's not as many jobs in wrestling as people think. There's about 1,000 people who work there structurally, infrastructure, and talent. I'm proud of them, and I want to make sure they are able to feed their families, and that was a situation that was so big and heavy, I don't think it was helpful. And I don't know, maybe you can make it helpful, maybe you could do something with it." Cody would clarify that he's not taking sides in the situation, before highlighting the importance that AEW's original spirit lives on, and he would conclude, "It's just that's how I felt. No heat on Punk, no heat on Matt, Nick, Kenny or Tony. I was just bummed out when I saw it. If you were all in, the spirit of all in, if you ever lose that spirit, you're lost. And I think the spirit was gone in that moment. That doesn't mean you can't get it back, but it was just a bummer. I also felt weird because I always talk to everyone, so I was like, I don't want to make it look like I'm taking any sides here. I'm literally just an observer now. I'm not there, guys, no connections, other than just the initial connection, so just a bummer." AEW President Tony Khan would speak on the Bex and Buster show last night, where he revealed his booking philosophy for both Ring of Honor and All Elite Wrestling going forward. When asked how he would handle the addition of WWE to his portfolio, a company that he's publicly expressed his interest in buying, he would talk of the importance of keeping the shows and rosters separate, something that would be the case if he purchased a third wrestling company, and he would note, "If I owned another wrestling company besides the two I already own, it would be very challenging, but I think we would want to maintain separate rosters, just like I've tried to keep AEW and Ring of Honor to where there is crossover between the companies, but both have a strong pay-per-view business and AEW has great television. Soon I'll have more to talk about regarding when and where Ring of Honor's weekly TV will be on Honor Club, and going forward, when and where we're going to tape those shows. There is some example of what we would do as far as keeping the pay-per-view business separate, but having some crossover. It would certainly be different if it were a different company. With AEW and Ring of Honor, I'm very happy with what we're doing. Certainly, if there were other opportunities that arose in terms of acquisitions, then I would certainly be interested in them." And next up, a WWE Hall of Famer has confirmed that they will be in attendance at the upcoming WrestleMania 39 event, when Kurt Angle took to his podcast to announce that he is scheduled to fly into Los Angeles for WrestleMania weekend, and Angle would note, "Right now my flight plans leave Sunday morning. I'll watch the first half of WrestleMania. I might stay and extend my flight to the next day, but I want to watch Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes because I believe he's going to win the title. I'm doing an appearance for WrestleCon. I believe I'm going to do some stuff for WWE as well. I plan on going to WrestleMania for one day." Whilst for now, Kurt appears to only be at the show as a spectator, as well as for some other projects, WWE could be tempted to find a non-wrestling role on the show for the Olympic gold medalist. There's now been a breakthrough in the lawsuit filed by Major League Wrestling towards WWE, with the promotion claiming that they've made attempts to undermine competition in and monopolize the professional wrestling market by interfering with MLW's contracts and business prospects. Last night, the judge for the case stated that the court finds that MLW have not included sufficient facts to plausibly allege a relevant antitrust product market. Whilst the case has been dismissed, there is now a 21-day window for MLW to amend their complaint complaint in order to resurrect their claims against WWE, something MLW CEO Court Bauer confirmed is something they will pursue, with him telling PW Insider, "Our legal team is already at work on amending the complaints. We have every intention to continue pursuing our case against WWE." And speaking of legal cases, we have an update on AEW star Jeff Hardy's ongoing legal battle following his DUI arrest last June. According to a report from PW Insider, Jeff is set to appear in court for a pre-trial hearing on February 23rd, so next Thursday, which is listed as a case management conference. The report notes that Hardy is facing up to 5 years in prison if he's found guilty, although it was added that both sides are potentially working on a plea deal to prevent this from happening. Last night, AEW star Dax Harwood would get the internet talking when he took to his Instagram story to post a photo of a bottle of tequila, a beverage he's known to enjoy. Eagle-eyed fans would spot something very interesting about the picture, and it wasn't the multitude of title belts in the background, but a piece of paper that was laying on the table. The paper in question shows the corner of a WWE logo, with it seemingly being an old contract from the company, leading to talk that Harwood is deliberately teasing a jump to WWE when his AEW deal expires. Both members of FTR will become free agents in the summer of 2023, with Dax and Cash currently sitting out from television whilst they ponder their next move. It could be the case that he's just trying to stir the pot, perhaps as a promotion tactic for his podcast, but I guess we'll have to just wait and see. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel as we edge closer to 50,000 subscribers, a landmark I hope to hit this year if possible. So yeah, that would help me out a lot, but with that out of the way, let's get to the final story of today's video. On last night's episode of Being the Elite, the Young Bucks would take yet another jab at CM Punk, with whom they are far from on good terms with. Nick Jackson would joke that he has a Starbucks gift card in his bag, stating that he'd take a Starbucks gift card all day. Of course, this is in reference to recent stories from FTR's Dax Harwood that CM Punk would often gift his fellow wrestlers in the locker room with Starbucks gift cards during his time in AEW. Whether yet another Punk reference from the Bucks is a sign that a feud is in the works remains to be seen, and this may not be the case if Dave Meltzer is to be believed. As for the latest on the relationship between the Elite and CM Punk, Meltzer would reveal on Wrestling Observer Radio today that the two parties are yet to make up following the altercation, and he would note, "A lot of damage done, there's a lot of mending of fences that needs to be done, and there's been no mending of fences at all. It's a big situation because Punk could be back in 2 months, then there's a decision. That's going to be a big story how that goes or doesn't go down." With CM Punk back in the gym following recovery from his torn tricep surgery after an injury that he suffered at All Out in his AEW World title win over Jon Moxley, only time will tell if Burnt Bridges will be rebuilt, with there being a potential money-making feud on the cards if feelings can be put to one side. And before you go, make sure you check out 10 upcoming wrestling free agents that you need to know.